We're gonna need these, and we're gonna need those. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to a stupendously gorgeous day. Little garage update, or well, yeah, I can't fit my trucks in the garage, but driveway update. Super Duty Sam, less than 2 weeks to grab your entries for this truck. If you guys want to get entered, first link in the description below. Seriously, guys, we're down to actually less than 14 days before that giveaway is over, and then about 1 month's time before this truck could be in your driveway or wherever it is that you park your vehicles. We got long bed Larry here, looking like a stud. Tailgate bezel still broken. That hasn't arrived yet. Should be here soon. Parked over the mulch at the moment. Sorry, wifey. I know, I'm sorry. Because it's leaking a little bit of trans fluid. I think it's because the dipstick is not actually seated completely in the trans, but it's kind of staying that way for the time being, kind of the lazy man's approach. I could get up in there and do it, but that truck actually has an appointment somewhere that is a shop and does transmission stuff coming soon. But we do have some really awesome intentions for this truck. I do have some modifications that are in store that'll be hitting the content schedule and pipeline here very, very soon. Super Duty Sam, he's just done. He looks really awesome, but these trucks aren't what our video is about today. It's actually about the 2020, which we need to go get. It's at the shop right now. We just did the amp research steps last time. I wasn't able to actually film about them or with them outside of the shop because it was raining and Mother Nature had an agenda for what kind of content we could create that day because rain's no fun for creating YouTube videos, and well, we're gonna go check that out today. So Super Duty Sam, looks like we're going on a date. And guys, this is a Lariat, so it does have remote start. It's really nice. There it is. And if you guys want to grab key tags, they are available, plus banners should be in very soon. Super Duty Sam, such a gentleman. Burn like the tropics on my pockets, crave his profits. I'm obnoxious to a nuisance, rocking J's out here hooping. Hidden in my hoodie from the haters, fuck the drama. I was sent to show the world they're dealing with a problem from the get-go. Let's go, ready for the next show. Finding time for anything but any time to rest. So I get it in the morning till the sun falls back. Then hit it till it rises and I don't call. I'll tell you guys what, it feels amazing to be back in this truck. I gotta reiterate my point here is the fact that I love my GM and I have no brand bias. I've been talking a lot about the flaws, but the negatives don't outweigh the positives. There's so many positives to this truck that would outweigh the negatives. It's just I'm using my platform as an opportunity to hopefully get GM to listen to their customers, because I feel like I speak on behalf of a lot of my customers and my epic viewers being my customers and their customers. Yeah, you get the point. So we gotta do something with the truck because I've actually been driving around on a vehicle that's still need to, yeah, I need to do the whole registration thing, and that means I need to pay tax, and that means a check needs to get filled out to the state, which isn't all that fun, but we need to go do that real quick before we do anything else. So, oh, thank you, Mr. Denali. We got to take care of that right now because, yeah, that's got to get associated to something, and that's why we're here. So, see you in a minute. And now, yeah, sales tax is paid, and that's complete, but we have a registration card associated with that plate, which was on this truck for a little while because, yeah, we don't have to talk about it. It really does feel good to be back in this truck. It's been a minute. Well, it was a few weeks actually, because we got some construction going on here, but yeah, it was a few weeks that it was away. It kind of felt a little bit longer than a few weeks, so longer than a minute, but it feels really good to be back. I really did miss this thing. So guys, remember how I told you that I installed next-based dash cameras on both my Denali and the Jeep JL? Well, I'm really happy that I did. I hadn't had these cameras installed in our vehicles for less than 3 weeks before we had actually recorded an incident that was used in a case. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the dash cam, or the best second version of insurance that you can get next to auto insurance coverage, was actually used. Now, I hope we never actually have to use it for personal situations. I never really like to think about any of that stuff happening, but my wife was driving home from work the other day when she had actually witnessed an accident occur. Somebody was driving in a right lane. It was a 2-lane highway. There was oncoming traffic. The person was about to turn left, and well, as this video shows, it was caught all on footage, and well, we were actually able to provide that footage at the scene of the crime for proof of, well, what had actually happened. I hope that everybody walked away from that safely, but it just was a very comforting scenario where I'm really happy that we had that footage. I'm really happy my wife wasn't 10 seconds further ahead in her drive, but seeing that stuff, it's kind of scary, and it's a realization that having another eye that's referenceable is actually very nice. If you guys want to get a Nextcam dash camera that I have in the Denali, hardwired as you can see, I would definitely recommend it. It's one of those things where if you don't need it, you justify not really having it, but once you need it, you really love the fact that you have it. Now, a lot of people have been asking me lately to do a SEMA build, and I think we need to talk a little bit about that, because doing a SEMA build isn't just as simple as doing a SEMA build, and Let me tell you why. The idea of doing a SEMA build is really cool, and I think it is something that is on my to-do list, but the question of the vlog that I haven't answered yet is, are you doing a SEMA build with the 2020? It might make you think that I am because of the progress that we've been doing the mods at and kind of the route that I'm taking with it, but drum roll please. I am not doing a SEMA build with the 2020. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lead you guys on there, but I figured that this would be a really cool video to make just to talk about why I haven't done a SEMA build in the 3 years that I've been doing YouTube and building trucks, and well, now a year of giving trucks away and all of that awesome stuff. Doing a SEMA build is something that does seem very appealing to me, but I've kind of taken the lazy man approach. I wouldn't say it's like so much lazy, but rather it's almost kind of like a baggage-free method of getting to SEMA. That way I don't have to use a vehicle or a build to get in. Rather, I've just been able to partner with awesome companies that help me to get out there so I can also help to promote Battle of the Builders. And that's the big reason why specifically this year I could not do a SEMA build specifically. Well, I guess actually to backtrack, I could do, but I chose not to do one with the 2020, especially because I'll be running around following the 10 Young Guns that are in Battle of the Builders and the Young Guns pillar, which is 10 people in different builds and all of that. Now, and I say that I get to go out there baggage free because I won't have a vehicle at a booth specifically located in the complex or around the complex that I had to work or spend time getting it to and then spend time getting it from, meaning that there's a lot of waiting and downtime waiting for your vehicle to get into its staging area, and then of course you're around the booth answering questions and all that fun stuff. And then after SEMA Ignited, which is usually Friday night, it's the last day of SEMA at night, it's literally chaos as everybody scrambles to break down the entire venue. And we're talking like a 1 million square foot expo center that basically gets broken down in almost like 24 hours. It's absolute chaos. And that is the part that's not so fun for the fun part of SEMA that I really don't have much interest in, because rather I'd like to go out there, run all around, frolic amongst, cover all these amazing builds, get experience for myself, provide awesome content for all of you guys, and then say goodbye when I'm done. Personally, that's just my preference. I like to kind of approach things very lean and streamlined, and that's kind of reason number one that I'm not going to be going to SEMA. My second reason is kind of in part due to laziness, but it's more because I'm particular, and it's the particularity that I don't want to rush the build just for a day and then not know what to do with the build afterwards. What I mean by that is basically I don't want to like rush to, let's just say if this was our SEMA build, I wouldn't want to rush to lift it and then throw a bunch of, like, let's just say wheels and tires on it and do a whole bunch of other stuff with partners that I'd probably work with to promote their brand as I'm promoting kind of what I wanted to do, just to finish it, to be done with it indefinitely. I don't really know what happens after SEMA builds are done and after SEMA is over. It's kind of like, hey, I had a SEMA build once, but it was like 3 years ago and I still have the vehicle, and it's like, oh, okay, well, SEMA's over, so what is it now? And not trying to throw shade by any means, I guess that's just kind of how I look at it, and if there's clarity to that, great. Maybe people sell them, or maybe they use them as tokens to showcase what it is that their capabilities are. I'd say that that's great advertising, let's just say for a shop, to say, hey, look at this amazing build. Is there anything that you like on it? Do you want us to do anything similar, etc., etc.? So that's kind of number two. And lastly, I'd say number three is kind of like my expense to enjoyment ratio. It's like, if I'm gonna divest a bunch of resources and funds into a project that's kind of expedited and rushed, how much am I actually gonna be able to enjoy the outcome of that? The investment being the vehicle, rushing all this stuff in, working with all these vendors, and then of course getting the truck together and getting it to SEMA, whether I drove it out and basically paid for fuel and stays and all of that stuff on the way out, or if I just shipped it out for a few grand. And then how much of an enjoyment factor or value I'm actually gonna be getting out of that. And that's where personally, again, this is all just a personal opinion, being that I get the question all the time because you guys are awesome. I just don't feel like I'd get that much value out of building a SEMA truck. I'd say that there's value in the creation of the content, but I don't really know what is in the value other than that. And that's where I tend to raise some questions. Last but not least, number four, I think it actually kind of comments onto point number two, but I'm really just about embracing the build. I love to absorb every version of the transformation from stock to not, rather than just saying, all right, here's a truck, taking it all apart, building it, and then putting it back together, and not getting to truly enjoy the novelty of each step. Like this truck, for example, we put black wheels on it, and I embrace those, and I love them. And then we took the black wheels off with different tires and put the polished wheels on, and I love them. And then we decided to get it tinted. That was awesome. And then we leveled it. That was sick. And then we did some paint match on it. That was awesome. We added the dash cam, which really isn't a modification per se, but it's still those little increments that you can really look forward to and embrace, rather than just stripping it all apart and putting it all back together and then just saying, yes, I took it from this to that and it was done. It's like, oh man, but you ordered all these parts. And what I like to look at is each time I order a part, I try to install that part alone and then do the next sequential installation, rather than just kind of like vomiting the build together, which honestly has its place, but that's just, again, my personal preference. Oh yeah, and I actually had one more reason as I was just about to jump in the truck and head back to the house. And honestly, I'll admit this, I just don't have the capability to do anything like truly custom and one-off, and honestly worthy of my definition of what SEMA is all about. I think for the average consumer, they can kind of bolt stuff up and go. But if I was to build like a SEMA truck, I feel like I would need a shop and I could actually like fabricate something super unique that would still kind of fit the profile of OEM Plus if it was just like my shop specifically. But I can't do that because I don't have that kind of capability. And I think that that's kind of really the final blow in the death of all my SEMA wishes. So yeah. All right guys, we're back at the house, and as y'all know, it's archery season, meaning that I have a date with my tree stand in the woods, and hopefully not with too many squirrels, because if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you know, you know. If you don't follow me on Instagram already, you should definitely do that right here at DURTYMAX, DU4RSTYMAX. And if you haven't followed Enthusiast Apparel, it's right there. All that information's down below. You can just down in the below. Yeah. That's exactly where my head's at. It's in the woods. I did see a small 4-point, big-bodied 4-point. Hey, wife.
Big-bodied 4-point.
Big-bodied 4-point that was, well, illegal. We can't harvest big-bodied 4-points. If it was a big-bodied 5-point, maybe we'd be able to sling an arrow and poke that SOB, if you know what I'm saying. But my trail cam is picking up a lot of dough, and I've got 3 tags to fill for dough and, well, $1. So that and me have a date. And just like that, y'all can't see me. Well, I'm just kidding. You can't see this weird X on my chest, but you can see everything else. But in all reality, guys, I actually gotta go. I got a date with this tree stand, and I can't be late. It's very important. I'm not gonna end this video just yet because I want to wait to see if I actually get something. My GoPro's acting up, so I can't bring it out in the woods, but I'll bring my camera just in case. If I don't get anything, well, I guess we'll see in a minute. You'll see in a second, but I'll see in a minute. See you then. All right, boys, we just got to the spot. It is right here at about 5 o'clock. Gonna be in my stand by 5:15. Not gonna be able to do much vlogging up there. If I have anything exceptional that I have to try and catch, I'll revert to the cell phone. Otherwise, I will see you guys right after I get out. Gotta get all set up, gotta throw my backpack on, gotta throw my boots on, and then I do have my harness as well to, of course, hunt safely, especially when you're like 24 foot up in a tree. So fingers crossed. Second night. First night we saw that 4-point, as I said. Hopefully tonight we see a little bit more, and less squirrel distractions. If you know, you know. Well, boys and girls, we're back and we're empty-handed. No luck tonight, but it is what it is. That's hunting for you. That's where I'm gonna end this video. I hope to get you guys out in the woods. Next time around, I promise I'm gonna try and get that all squared away, because I know a lot of you have been asking about the archery content, getting out in the woods, etc. It should be pretty cool. I gotta unload the 2020. You can see all the floodlights are on and everything right now. It's a pretty nice feature, especially for these dim lit situations. That said, grab yourself a limited thermal, because first come, first serve on that. You guys got less than 2 weeks to grab your interest for Super Duty Sam, so do it before it's too late. You might regret it. You seriously might regret it. My likely to love you guys, do what you do best. Tap that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next upload.